Kingdom blessings, each and every one of you all. I don't know why I think to check the volume really, but God bless each and every one of you. We got like a minute to get started, so I'll give y'all like a minute in the room. Grab your notebook, grab your pen, and let's go ahead and get started. I pray you all day is going amazing. So we got less than a minute and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so it's 12 on the dot. Y'all know I do not like to hold off. And we got some information to cover on today, so let's go ahead and get started. So today we will be talking about the length of your credit history. All right, so we're back for another video. If you are new here and you're just not tuning in, put a one in the comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Do me a favor. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Put what state you're tuning in from. What brought you here, what you're looking to gain from the videos, what you would love for me to talk about, what questions you may have. Drop them in the comments. I would love to answer your question. Also, do me a favor and like the broadcast, share the broadcast. If you love the information that I'm giving out, subscribe to the channel because it works better with the algorithm. Okay, push me out. All right, so that others can see. All right, and I would appreciate it if you do that. So yeah, so today we're breaking down as a continuation the five factors that build your credit score. So we did cover already your payment history, which we know that is 35% of your credit report. We also covered the utilization, which is the second factor, and that is your also the amounts owed section, right? So payment history counts and makes up of 35% of your credit report, and then 30% is your utilization. Now today, well, before we even get into today, I want to talk about those two factors real briefly because those two factors together are worth 65% of your score. So if you missed either of those sessions, because we broke those down into two different days. So I believe today is part three. So that's part one and two. You will want to go back to catch up with part three, and then tomorrow we'll finish up the rest of the five factors on tomorrow with the last two. So if you missed either of those sessions, definitely go back and watch them before you continue this session. All right. So today we're talking about your length of your credit history, you guys. This information that I am giving, definitely write it down. Definitely have it as a stickler. I don't care if you take notes, put it on your wall, put it on your refrigerator, put it in your mirror when you go to your bathroom. You need to get acquainted with this type of information because it's this information that once you learn the five factor that makes up your credit report, you will become unstoppable. You will begin to see results within the next 30 days if you apply the information, you guys. I promise you it works only if you apply yourself. Okay. So the length of credit history, it is 15% of your credit score. All right. So you get 82 points in this area. All right. Yeah, that's right. 82 points in this area, right? So this one is different from the first two because you cannot hustle your way through this section, okay? You cannot pay something down or dispute something off to fix this category, all right? This category is purely about time. That's what it's called. It's the length of credit, right? So that means the best thing that you can do is truly really understand this information so that you can stop accidentally destroying it, right? So this category, it looks at three things. It looks at the age of your oldest account, it looks at the age of your newest account, and then it looks at the average of all of your accounts combined, all right? So the longer your credit history, better it is for you. So an older account file tells lenders, right, that you have been managing your credit for a long time and that you've been managing it very well. So it gives them more data to evaluate, right? It says that you're not new to this, you're true to this. It says that this person has some skin in the game and they know what they're doing. right? It's given. I know, I know, I know. All right. So the average of your accounts is the most sensitive piece of this category. All right. So every new account that you open, it pulls down your credit age. It pulls down the length, right? Every account you close, especially if it's an old account, it can pull that average down dramatically. All right. So let's say you have 4 credit cards. One of those cards is 10 years old, one is 6 years old, one is 4 years old, and let's just say you have a 2-year-old credit card. Then that means your average account age is about 5.5 years old, right? Let's just say you decide to close the oldest one because you don't use it anymore. Now your average drops to 4 years. You was just at 5.5 years, but you decide to close your oldest account. Now you drop down 4 years. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you just lost a year and a half of average credit age with one decision, right? You ever heard of that saying, let your next move be your best move? This is that. All right. So with this category, I really need you to think of your credit age as points, you guys, because your credit age is points. All right. It is indeed points. All right. So here's something that can legitimately accelerate this category for you. So if someone who has an old, well-managed credit card adds you as an authorized user on their account, that account's full history, it can appear on your credit report. So the age of that account, the payment history, the limit, all of it. This is completely legal, you guys. All right, this is a real strategy that works, and it's actually called piggybacking credit, right? And it has been used for decades. Have you ever seen, or I know a lot of people say, oh, this child was grown up like he has a silver, like, you know, as we call certain people, grown with a silver spoon in their mouth, right? And it's not necessarily that they have a silver spoon or a golden spoon. It's just because they parents knew something that many do not, right? And so what they would do is when the child becomes 13, 16, 18, what they would do is put that child upon their credit. So by the time that child hits 18, that child already have a 750 credit score because the parent took time to build their report over the years, clean, and now they say, hey, I want to add my child up here as an authorized user, right? And then now that child does not have to start from scratch. And so this is also building generational wealth. You guys, we have to sit down and buckle into this information. All right. So again, if you have a parent, if you have a spouse, if you have a family member with a card that is 10, 15, 20 years old with zero late payments, low utilization, and they add you on as an authorized user, you can inherit that history on your credit report. All right. So you don't even need to use the card. Matter of fact, I tell people if you want to have someone up there as an authorized user, put them onto your account, but do not give them a credit card. That's the easiest way that you know that they're not doing anything with your information. All right. So this is one of the fastest ways to add death in age to a thin credit line. So if you have children and they're 18 and you've been building credit for 20 years, go ahead and add that to your child's report so that they don't have to start from the bottom, so that they don't have to start from scratch, and it will not affect you as long as you don't give that child that credit card. And even if you do give them a credit card, if they are responsible, right? I wouldn't say do it, but only if they're responsible. You know your child, you know whoever you're working with or dealing with, then that's to your discretion, right? So this is just one of the fastest ways to add death to any report. If no one has been building credit prior, if someone has a thin credit, if they don't have anything on their credit report, this is the way to go. All right. So again, the flip side, if someone asks you as an authorized user on an account that has late payments, high utilization, we talked about that on the other day, or other negative marks, then that negative history can also land on your report. So whatever this person is doing, it can come right on your report, right? As those two accounts merge, and they not merge, but once they link, then everything this person do on the main account, it copies likewise, right? It copies it. So that negative history, it can also land on your credit report. So again, be more intentional about whose account you attach yourself to. It's that simple, you guys. But it's a powerful tool if you use it. It is very mighty, very powerful. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the rule about closing accounts. Right? So there is a rule, and I'm gonna say this as clear as I can, because this mistake is literally costing people points each and every day, right? And you're not even knowing it. Do not, I repeat, do not close old credit card accounts, right? I understand that you're logically thinking. I understand you do not use it. I understand it feels like clutter. I understand you really want to simplify your life and just get that out of the way. But the moment you close that account, especially if it's your oldest account, especially like you're literally shrinking your credit history and you're dropping your age, your average age account while shrinking it tremendously, right? So the only time it makes sense to ever close an account is if it carries an annual fee that you cannot handle and the card provides absolutely no benefit to you. This is why I also say make sure that the credit card that you get is one that you can build with. It's one that you can increase with. It can benefit you. And we'll also do a teaching in a class on the credit cards that you should go after, right? We'll talk about secure, unsecured. We'll talk about the whole shebang. All right. But for the second time, we'll continue here. So even then, if the card does not benefit you, call and ask, will the bank waive the fee or will they convert the card to a no fee version? All right. So most issuers will do this to keep your business. If you let them know that you're thinking about closing, then let them know that so that they can see if they want to help you out or not. Right? Excuse me. If there is no annual fee, then leave it open, you guys. Put a small charge on it once a month, set it on auto pay, and let that account age. Let it keep aging for you while you sleep. It will not only benefit you, but it will benefit your children and it'll benefit their children's children. Remember, there's a scripture in the Bible that God says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So don't just think about yourself before you go and close that account. Do not just think about yourself. Think about your children's children. And I'm going to say this again before I move on. When you have a credit card and you've been keeping it for years, let's say 10 years, 20 years, and you've been keeping that account, no late payments, anything of that sort, it's just beautiful. It's collecting age. You use it responsibly. The utilization is under 9%. This is a account that by the time your kids hit 16, 18, and you put them on as an authorized user, they are good to go. They're good to go because now they just accumulated everything that you have been doing throughout the years, right? And so this is one that, again, if you have not looked into it and your child is getting to the age or they're already that age and they're struggling, but you have it all, then go ahead and list them as an authorized user because it will not hurt your account. It will not hurt you at all unless you give them a credit card. And like I say, do not give them a credit card. Okay. All right. So yeah. Yeah. So there is a principle throughout scripture that things of lasting value, God tells us it takes time, right? He basically tells us that you cannot rush a harvest. You plant the seed, you tend to the soil, and you wait on the season. You wait, right? You plant the seed, you reap, you wait on reaping season. Okay, that's how I'm getting it in my brain. Wait on your reaping season once you plant that seed. All right, because we got to know whatever you plant, whatever you put in the ground, that can go physically and spiritually. But whatever you put in the ground, you got to know that there's a return. There's going to be a return on your harvest. Okay, some you may not see instantaneously, some you will have to wait on. And this is just one of the categories that will be very, very fruitful, very lucrative if you take heed in it, right? So we know that you cannot rush a harvest. You plant that seed, you tend the soil, and you wait on that season. All right. Galatians 6 and 9, it says, let us not become weary in doing good. God says, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up, if you do not faint. So let me tell you, your length of credit history is a harvest principle, right? The seed you plant on today, the account you open responsibly, the car you keep active and in good standing, those are all seeds. And guess what? In the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, they will be assets, not liability. They will be assets on your report that cannot be bought or rushed, right? This is the advantage that you would have over someone that is fresh in the credit space, that is fresh in building credit. Because like I say, it's better in the eyes of a lender of someone who has a 10-year-old age credit card versus someone who just opened up a credit card account 3 months ago, right? They will prefer the length, that age, right, over a period of time. All right. So again, they will be assets on your report if you do not rush it. All right. Only grown. Do not close your field. Tend to it, right? And be a good steward and be a good keeper. Now, before I go into this last section, I do want to let you know, if you look at the what's that field called? I know if you look in the description of this video, I will have a link to my $47 PDF guide. It's an audit that will show you how to walk through your credit report. And I'm also doing on the phone audits that you can sit down and go through your entire report. I'll give you a credit action plan on telling you what you can do and how you can repair your credit for $197. That's a one-time phone call. And if you say, Shayla, I want to get into your program where there's a partnership, you hold me by the hand and we both tackle this thing, right? Then that program is $497 to get started. I am opening up to split payments of $249. And then after that onboarding fee, it will be $47 per month. You cannot beat it, you guys. And then there's a separate fee of $29, and that's just to pull your credit reports into my software so that I can continue to repair your credit and dispute the negative items each and every month. All right. So let's continue. And that will be in the description. I also have it at the I'm not sure, the bio. Yeah, the bio of the video. You will also see all of the links. Someone said that they was interested in repair that was interested in building their own credit repair business. Now, I also have that link in the description of my video. I have a course that will teach you legally how to start your very own credit repair business from the ground up. I show you the whole exact thing. We have automations. We have so much into this course. You'll have my voiceovers. I give you step by step, and there's many different options you can choose from. So make sure that you go into my bio and you look at all of the things that we're offering here. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going. So let's talk about a little portion of the age. So we have something that's called a seasoned trade line industry, right? Some of you may know about it, some of you may know. All right. So companies, they will literally charge you a fee to be added as an authorized user on a stranger's old, well-maintained credit card. right? If you know, you know, right? The account history, it shows up on your report. You get the payment history, you get the limit, you get everything, all right? And then after a billing cycle or two, they will remove you. So this is best for people that say, hey, Shayla, I'm trying to go ahead and buy a car. I want to go ahead and get into a home. I want to go ahead and do something real quick, but my credit scores right now are at like a 680. I could use an additional 60 to 100 points. That is when I'll say, hey, let's go ahead and get a trade line up there. And it'll boost you up, right? It's temporary. That's why I don't too much push these, but they are a very present help in a time of need. So if you're looking to do something right away, then I would suggest a seasonal trade line. But on the flip side, in my program, I also give you trade lines that will stay, that will not be removed, right? And we need those. These are primary account holders, right? Primary account trade lines, and everyone needs them. Everyone needs the primary accounts. Okay. All right. So the accounts, they're typically 5 to 15 year olds, the seasoned ones, the ones that don't stay for long. I think maybe about 3 to 6 months, give or take, depending on which one that you go with. But they are perfect for payment history. They're called seasoned trade lines, all right, because of how long they have been aging. And so what I did not know that I just found out is that if you have a well-aged credit card, you can actually go on one of these sites and you can sell that card so that people can buy them, and you can also get off of that. That is just so cool. 'Cause I just found that information out. Yeah, call me green, call me what you want, but that is amazing. All right. And it's currently legal under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. All right. So the practice has existed for decades, but it operates in a gray area. Some lenders, okay, some lenders, especially mortgage lenders, are trained to identify the authorized user accounts that don't match the borrower's natural spending history, and they can discount them entirely when they're underwriting your loan. All right. So make sure when you do go and get a trade line that is reasonably knitted into your history, right? Don't just go and get one that's so crazy and the lenders look and they be like, okay, this is just not yours, right? Just make sure that it's reasonable. All right. So meaning you paid for it, it did not help you when it mattered the most. All right, so these are also companies in this space that are flat out, there are also companies in this space that are flat out scams. All right, so you need to know that a lot of people will take your money, a lot of people will add you to an account that does not report the way that they claim. All right, they will even remove you before the cycle even closes. If you ever consider this strategy, you need to vet any company that you would want to go through. This information is so vital, you guys. Make sure you vet the company very thoroughly. Understand exactly what you're paying for when it comes to a temporary trade line. Like I said, I don't offer these a lot. I mainly deal with primary accounts, right? Because they're here for the long haul. Temporary ones, they're just like quick fixes. I don't too much like quick fixes, right? But they work. They can work. They work. All right. So understand how long you will be on that account, and understand that for a mortgage specifically, it may not carry the weight that you think it will. All right. So the best seasoned trade lines is still one that comes from a trusted person in your actual life. So if you can find someone that's older, mature, and they pay their bills on time, amen, and they have been having accounts open for 10 plus years, 5 plus years, then hey, that's more trusted than just trying to go online to buy a seasoned trade line from a stranger, right? So definitely look around into the family first, all right? Because it may not carry the weight that you think it will, all right? So That relationship is what most companies are trying to replicate for a fee, the one that you can get within your own family. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the thin file problem, right? Who it affects and what to do when you have a thin file. And the thin file is just a credit report that has nothing on it. This is why I tell people, besides just disputing the negative item, you need accounts to build your score. Okay. Because if not, then lenders would look at your report and they would see, hey, this person has nothing up here. This is what we call a thin file. And a thin file means that you don't have enough credit history for the score model to even generate a reliable score. So FICO requires at least one open account for at least 6 months and at least one account reported within the last 6 months just to calculate a score, right? So if you have never had credit before, or if you had credit years ago and everything has since then has been closed or aged off, you may be in the thin file territory. All right. And it affects the most recent immigrants. It affects the most young adults. It affects the most people who have operated cash only for years. You've heard of people that say, I don't even deal with credit because I got cash. All right. This is the people that it's affecting the most. All right. People who went through a financial reset and let everything close, people who are recently widowed, people who are recently divorced, and the credit was in their spouse's name. This is affecting these type of people. So the fastest legitimate ways to build from a thin file are these. All right. You can get a secured credit card, right? A secured credit card is when you deposit money as your own collateral. They give you a credit limit that's equal to that deposit. So if you deposit on this secured credit card, if you deposit $200, $200 is now your limit. You use it like a regular card and you pay it on time. After several months of positive history, most issuers will upgrade you to an unsecured card and return your deposit. All right. You can also get a credit builder loan. This is when the bank holds the money in a savings account while you make payments on that loan. So you build the payment history, you build the credit mix, and at the end of the term, you will receive all of the money that you've invested right back into your hands. So it's like a two in a one, y'all. You're literally paying these CD savings account. They put money up. You pay what pennies to dollars on these accounts, and they boost your score, and they also give you your investment back at the end. This is amazing. All right. One example is Experian Boost. It's a free tool that lets you add your utility payments, your phone bill payments, and streaming service payments to your Experian credit file. All right. That's a nugget. All right. So these are bills that you are already paying now. All right. Now they count towards your credit history. All right. So we know Vantage Score. We talked about this the other day. Vantage 4.0, it picks up this data. And as we covered in the earlier section, Vantage is now accepted for mortgage lending. Yay! Y'all knew how excited I was about that information. So a thin file is not a dead end. I want you to know that if you have not been building credit and you say, I know I got a thin file, just know that this is not the end. It's actually God inviting you into a deeper realm of credit, right? It is a starting point, and starting points are just that. It is literally the beginning. All right. So let's see. I'll get a little bit more of my notes here. Let's keep going. This one right here, let me talk about credit age and business credit that people don't really talk about. Now, this one right here is for the entrepreneurs in the room or that will be in the room when you come back and watch the replay, because your personal credit history, it does not transfer to your business credit files, right? They are completely separate. So your business, it starts with a zero credit history the day that you establish it, regardless of how old your personal file is. All right. And here is the connection that a lot of people begin to miss, because when you're in the early stages of building your business credit, lenders are going to listen to me. Lenders are going to pull your personal credit as leverage because your business, it has no track record yet, so they have to have something to go off of, right? So they use your personal file to evaluate the risk of lending to your business. All right, so this means everything that we have been building in your personal credit, the age, the payment history, the utilization, that matters for your business too. All right. So it is the bridge that carries you until your business can stand on its own. All right. So when they say you can build your business credit and not even thinking about your personal credit, like there, if your business credit is not there, they need something to fall back on. And 9 times out of 10, they will pull your personal credit. All right. So the people who have been tending to their own personal credit file for years, they have a massive advantage when they step into business ownership because the bridge is already built, right? So tend to your personal file because it will open doors in the realm of personal and business for you. All right, so that's a little nugget that I did want to insert there. I thank each and every one of you all for coming back, even on the replay, to catch this video. We'll be back on tomorrow, and we will wrap up the last two factors that counts to your credit score. And so I will see you all then. Go into the bio of this video to look at the many resources that I have to offer here on ways that, excuse me, on ways that we can connect, on ways that you're able to thrive off when it comes to your credit, whether that's you wanting to repair your credit, you wanted to join the program, whether that's you saying, hey, I want to step into the entrepreneur field and I would love a mentor and I would love to build my own business from the ground up. Click on the link. All right. So there's courses there. There's a lot of amazing resources that I have tailored for people just like you. All right. So I will be back on tomorrow. You all be blessed.